Hello there, my mate Vince here, and in this video today we're going to be looking at more cash converter faulty items here. So in the first episode we looked at this little NES clone. I managed to get it working, really enjoyed that fix there. Now we're looking at this TV. It's like a TV that comes in its own little suitcase here, and it's to be used in like a camper van or a caravan. It also plays DVDs. Now as far as I can see, the TV side of it's working okay, because when I plug in this, it works. It just has trouble playing DVDs, and also it has a ridiculous amount of rattle on the inside. So listen to this. Something is definitely loose on the inside there. Maybe that's related to why it's not playing DVDs. I can't get it to get off this screen here. So if I try to play or pause or skip forward, do forward a track, it doesn't leave this screen here. This is Lost Room. Highly recommend this. Quite dated, but a real good storyline. That was given to me by Gadget UK, so thank you, Chris. Now, if I was to go on to Source and then go down to AV, you can see, if I go on this little NES console here, you will see that it does work. So sound and everything's working fine. It's just the DVD side of things which is not working. So, yeah, I think we'll take it apart. Maybe it's all related to the fact that this rattling is going on, because when you first of all turn it on, it does say that it says ejecting all the time. So maybe it's not recognising the disc fully, even though it seems to play the first part where it comes over without the copyright warning. So let's get over to the map, take it apart, see if we can find out what this rattling is. Maybe it just needs the laser cleaning, or maybe it might be a mechanical issue. Hopefully it'd be interesting. In fact, right now it seems to have seized up completely on the DVD. It won't even let me eject it. So yeah, something's not right. Amazingly, these are actually worth a little bit of money. I've seen on here £129, and this is the same model, 163DR, which is this one here, W163DR. Okay, let's find out what's causing this weird rattle inside. We've got a range of ports here, which is really nice. So two HDMIs, in and in. We've got a SCART, I presume that's going to be in. We have PC audio in. Video in, we've got coaxial out, that's the power one there, and we've got VGA in and RF in as well. So it's good to have so many ports on something so small. And I'm not sure how involved I'm going to get on this one here, because I think that eBay price is probably very optimistic. I can't see something with bezels this big being in much demand nowadays. Also, if the laser's failed, if it's mechanical, great, I might be able to fix it. But if it's failed because the laser's breaking down, then I don't think I'm going to be looking into buying a new laser for it. So you can see here it runs off 12 volts or 24 volts. So I suppose that's why it's for like camper vans and caravans. And I did have the disc in the right way. It shows you here which way to put it in. But if I put it in the other way, it ejects straight away. Well, after about a minute or so. Now, are you going to pop out? Is there any more hidden screws anywhere? Oh, we've got two more here. Let's undo this just in case they go right the way through. In fact, hold on. Oh no, I don't need to. There we go, we're in. Excellent. Right, okay. A little bit of dust, doesn't look like it's had much use. What is rattling? What's rattling around on the inside? Ah, a screw. A screw. It seems to be making a lot of rattles for one screw. Ah, that's what's rattling around on the inside. I don't know what that is. That's one of those weird ports. Hold on a minute. Where would... Wait a minute. Where would that be? It all looks mangled up. It doesn't look like... It actually looks mangled. I can't even see where that would go. Unless somebody placed something through, like posted it through like a letterbox. What on earth's going on? Where's that supposed to fit? In fact, I don't know, what size is that? Don't even know what that would be for. It's too big for an SD, isn't it? Oh no, it's not, it's SD. I don't actually think that's for this particular model here. I think somebody might have posted it through one of the holes, a kid or something. Right, where would that screw be from then? And why is this not playing? There we go, that's the screw from here. Why on earth is that come undone? This is all a bit odd. Voiceover Vince here. I must have had the cover off the back of this TV for an hour, hour and a half, something like that, and I never noticed any place that that SD card could go. And as soon as I've watched the video back now, it's as plain as could be where it goes, right where the arrow is pointing now. So it makes more sense to me. You'll see in a minute I noticed that the USB port is mangled. I think a kid's got hold of this and they've been shoving things in, slightly damaging the USB port and probably ripping off the SD card slot completely. I didn't dream this would have an SD card reader on it. Really weird how I didn't spot it when I was filming it. But anyway, that's where it should go. So the mystery's solved in my head now about where this thing came from. But for the rest of the video, you're watching it as I filmed it, and I haven't got a clue where this thing came from. Also, that USB port seems a little bit off center. Doesn't quite look right. I think I'm going to undo the 4 screws, pull this out, and have a look. You can see my disc is stuck in there. Also, that doesn't look right down here. That doesn't look factory. Let's zoom in on here and see what's happening there. So they've put a diode in. An L, so that's a little inductor, is it? Well, maybe it is some alteration at the factory. If you look underneath, we have another diode here. And that is on the power input. There. That's where the adapter gets plugged into. Yeah, maybe that's sort of modification at the factory. Oh, and there's a date, 2009, so it's 15, approaching 15 years old. So I've never dealt with one of these things. It's a PCMCIA card. So I don't actually know what that is for. I've seen them on old TVs though. Right, so let's unplug that from there. Right, okay, the whole connector came off. It doesn't matter. So is that's going to be some sort of aerial, I presume. FM aerial. Has this got radio? I suppose. Oh, maybe it's got radio as well then. This all looks remarkably clean, but that port is a little bit crooked. Just going to try to manhandle that round a little bit. So the very fact an SD card slot has been posted through the PCMICA, whatever it's called, slot, and the fact that the USB port's a bit mangled, I think maybe this has been messed around with a little bit by a child. Now I'm not going to focus too much on the USB port. The soldering is all intact. The middle connector's all intact. It's just the housing which isn't very good. So I'm just trying to reshape it. You could unsolder it and put a new one in, but I'm just reshaping it. I'm sure it's going to be just fine. So to do that, after I've just got the initial shape, I'm plugging in a USB-A port into it, and I'm just using the pliers to kind of crimp around that port just to give it a bit of a rectangle shape. I'm fast forwarding through this bit because this isn't any part of the fault. This is just an added little bit of damage. Right, I think that's going to be okay because the two little bits in there will grip onto it, the two at the top will grip onto it, and we stab all the contacts, not shorting with anything with any out case, and the solder joints are okay there. So I think that's going to work and fit okay. It feels like it's gripping quite nicely. You could change the port out, but I don't think it's necessary. You can see that that is going in there nice, and those little parts are going into those holes there. Right, okay. I think we should just clean the laser. So let's undo the ribbon cable here. And should we try to take the top off? Actually, we don't need to undo that. Let's try to get it from the top and we can get rid of the disc at the same time. Right, that's off there. Now, can I remove this disc? Is there a little eject thing I can do to get rid of this? No. Just see if I can physically. Right, perfect. I managed to get it out. So, this is a little laser here. Let's use a tiny bit of IPA and just clean up the laser. So that's 99.9% alcohol. And I'm going to use a clean cotton bud, a Q-tip. So I'm just going to put the tiniest amount on it, give it a clean, and then I'm going to dry it the other side. So I'm going to pop the lid back on, do up to 5 screws, and then I'm going to put a disc in. Let's see if it behaves any differently now that we've given it a clean. Clearly the rattling has nothing to do with this fault. So let's just see if it was a dirty laser. Oh, dropped my IPA, of course. This power supply is outputting 12 volts, 3.33 amps. So I'm happy to work on it as it is now. So let's turn it on and see what it's doing. Right, so it still says ejecting. So let's see if it will take in the disc. No. Oh, here we go. 1 second. I think it's because I've taken the disc out. You see, it's confused where it is. Right, it says disc loading, but it hasn't, now it says ejecting. What's going on here? Doesn't seem happy. I think I need to somehow reset it. Oh, there we go. It's reset itself. See the red light? Right, it's moving around. Look at that. Right, we're back to this page here. Is it going to go any further? Maybe I should put this DVD in something else. I don't understand why it's not leaving this screen here. Oh, look at that. Even though it's a low voltage going into it, can you still see it says caution high voltage? Probably for the... would that be for the display itself? Right, I'm not so sure now whether I just chose an incorrect DVD. I'm going to play this DVD on something else to see how to get past this screen. It's strange, it just seems to lock itself up. Oh, there we go, ejecting now. Bear with me. Yeah, on the Xbox it only stays on that screen for about 15-20 seconds and then it goes on to the loading screen. So let me just... It's going to come on automatically. You'll see what's happening now. Ah, that's because it's picked up from where it went off last time. I wonder how I can kind of reset it. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me put in the other disc because it's going to behave the same way. So watch this. And it comes up with that warning screen for about 15 seconds. Right, here goes. Right, so that's what we get. But now look. There we go. So why is it not doing that on my one? Is the laser too weak, I wonder? Right, I'm unplugged. So I've got to be wary though, there still might be charge in this circuit down here. So what I'm wondering is, maybe it has had quite a bit of use, even though it's very clean. And because maybe every time after it's been used, it's been put back into the little holdall, in which case then it's not going to be full of dust. Could the laser be failing because it's getting weak? Because it's well used, maybe the diode in there is starting to break down. So I know it's a bit of a bodge job, but it needs a new laser, I think. I wonder if I was just to increase the power a little bit to the laser, so we could go across the potentiometer feeding it, and if we could just put a bit more power into it, whether that would be enough to fix it. So first of all, let's disconnect this here. Let's have a close look around, see, well, I can already see it, what looks like potentiometers there. So let's zoom in. Now, I wonder, would it be one of these two here? Is that the actual laser there? Does one say C and one say D? See, I don't know which one it would be. Why would we have two? Would one be to do with the focusing? And the other one to do with the laser itself? Not sure. Well, we can clearly see that there's 3 points. So if you have a look, we have a point here, here, and here. And that one is in connected to here, it looks like. And we have one here and here. I don't know which one to do, if I'm honest with you. Let's have a look if we can follow the path. Shall I try to put shall I put my meter on this end of the capacitor here and see if it comes up on any of these points? That's assuming, of course, that that part there is the laser. Let's try and do that. I'm just going to rest this on my shoulder, and I'm putting my meter to continuity, so the leads beep when they touch. Let's go here and see if anything comes up here. Yes. There. Should we do C here? Should we have a little play around with C? So let's see if two of these are in contact with each other. First of all, I just want to see, is that there in contact with that one? Yes, it is. Right, so is this one here? Yes, it is. So basically, I need to go between here and here, or between here and here. So let's get an ohms reading, see what it is, write it down, and then we'll try to reduce the resistance a little bit, which should put a little bit more power into the laser. But clearly, it's going to burn out even quicker now. See, maybe it's a capacitor feeding this which has failed, and that's why. It's just that on other things, sometimes people increase the power, but I think it's only a short-term thing. I think the proper fix here would be to get a new laser. Realistically, are they going to be available? Maybe. Is it worth fixing this particular item and spending a lot of money on the laser? Probably not. Anyway, let's just see if we can get something working. Right, so that's the ohms reading there. Let's see what happens when I go between here. I can't even see what I'm doing. And here, I might have to do this through an eye loop. There you go. So that's 1,600 ohms. I'm just going to go on to the next one to see what that one is. 2,800. Let's go with the first one. So should we try putting in 1,500 ohms? Yeah, because it's 1,600 at the moment. Let's put in 1,500 and see what that will do, because that's closer to more of a short. There's less resistance there, so it should be putting through a little bit more more power. Right, I'm going to need to use a tiny little screwdriver for this. Is that going to fit? Yeah, that will fit. So I'm going to go just a tiny little bit counterclockwise. Now let's see if that's made any difference at all. Normally with stuff like this, a tiny little movement affects it quite a bit. Okay, 1,460. So I'm going to go a little bit clockwise. I mean, I did it so small, I barely even felt it. Wow, weren't that lucky? 1,502 ohms. Let's give that a go and see if it starts working. Come on. So I connect up the ribbon cable, put a disc back in, and we have the same warning page as before. It just like freezes on this page, even though you can constantly see the disc spinning and also the laser's trying to read. Very odd. Not going to do it, is it? I'm a bit confused because it definitely seems like it's reading. Mind you, it's doing that back and forth. Should I try the other potentiometer in case it's a focusing thing? Or maybe the one that I've just adjusted is not to do with the power. Yeah, it should have done it by now. I'm going to press stop. Let's try the other potentiometer. This is all pure guesswork anyway. If you really knew what you were doing, you would probably hook a scope up to it and you might be able to tell by the image what's what. So that's 2,870. Let's reduce that more to about 2,700 if we can. So this time I'm turning the potentiometer marked up as D, and I'm turning it a tiny bit counterclockwise to try to put more power into that one. Well, that's moved massively, so that's too much. Now I'm going to go clockwise. Right, so with this one, tiny amounts make a huge difference. So I'm just trying to do it a little bit clockwise and a little bit counterclockwise, just trying to fine tune it a little bit, just to make the ohms change ever so slightly. But right now it's just doing massive swings up and down. Anyway, while I'm messing with this, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. The members this month are KipDigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Ricard Bergland, Soul Reaver 555, Shamsa Al Sawadi, Stuart Park, and Stephen from the Broken Past over on YouTube. Massive thanks to each and every one of you. Right, I think I'm going to leave it at that, 2,600. Honestly, it barely feels like anything's happening there. Right, so we're on that screen again. I just want to see, is it still hesitating in that spot? Wow, listen. Result! Excellent, so maybe it was that second laser. Yes, look at that! I've got to be careful with copyright and stuff. Oh, wow, amazing. Oh, what a result. I know it's not a proper fix. It needs a new laser, the laser's dying. Death comes to us all, there's not a lot that can be done about it. For all I know, this laser might have had hundreds, if not thousands of hours of use on it. But it's nice to see it come to life again, even if it might not last much in the future. Realistically, I don't think anybody probably would be putting a new laser in a TV like this. I think the TV might be a bit dated to be actually fixing it now. Nice for a video, for a YouTube video like this, but in reality I don't think any professional person would be fixing this, or anybody would be paying a professional to fix it. So I'm putting the back on it now, and let's test out a few DVDs and see if it's working. Also, let's see if it's working properly when it's upright, because when it's down on the desk like this, then gravity's in its favour. While when it's upright, it might not be as happy spinning up and also focusing. So yeah, let's test it in the other room upright. Come on, fingers crossed. Yes! Fantastic. Result. Brilliant. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to put in a different DVD and see if that one's playing. Looking promising. Perfect. Fantastic. Excellent. Right, well that's really good news. So I am going to just play a little bit of them, not on camera, obviously, because of copyright, just to see if they are actually playing, see if they're stuttering or not. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think it's just age-related fault. Why that thing was flapping around on the inside, have not got a clue. Somebody must have posted it through there, like a letterbox, some kid or something like that. And yeah, what I thought might be related to the fault had nothing to do with that. I think it's just the laser's getting old and it's worn down, which is to be expected because this is 2009, and if it's had a lot of use, I suppose it has come to the end of its life. Right, I'm just going to get back to this video in half an hour or so.
25 minutes later.
Well, it appears to be working just fine. So this is Jeremy Clarkson, The Italian Job. And watch this, if I play, I can skip forward sections and there's no hesitation or anything like that. Obviously, I'll have to be careful with copyright, but check this out. Play, skip forward, skip forward, skip forward, then go back, back, back,
Morning, Jeremy.
and pause. So that's all working fine. Also, I'm not sure if I showed this at the beginning, but when I was doing my initial testing before I started filming, if I went into DVD setup, it would freeze itself up on this bit, while now I can actually use it. So don't quite know why that is, but if I was to go into image, I can change the sharpness and stuff like that. So I don't know whether that was just a TV warming up, if it hadn't been on in like a year or something, but right now this appears to be working perfectly. It's just that it's not a proper fix, is it? The best fix would have been to change out the laser. But still, you never know. There might be many, 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 many more hours left in this particular laser here. So, yeah. I'm going to call it a fix. So far with my cache converters things, that is 2 out of 2, which is fantastic. You never know. Will the switch make 3 out of 3? That would be a bit of a result if I could get that working as well. So a massive thanks to Zabir and his team at the local cache converters. Really enjoying this little series here. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I forgot to mention that the USB port is doing its thing. I actually thought that you might be able to play MP3 files from a USB stick, but on Source I can't find an option for USB. So I think it's just purely for power. So I've just plugged in a power bank here and you can see it's charging. So it looks like the USB port is actually working. And other things I've missed out in the video is it actually comes with its own stand. So that really is perfect for a camper van, and you can tilt it as well. Various different leads and all different adapters and stuff like that, including your 12-volt supply from your car or camper van or caravan. And resolution wise, it looks like it's more HD ready because it says here 1366 times 768. So I think that might be a little under HD ready. It's certainly not full HD, but for something that size there, HD ready isn't too bad. So all in all, it's not a looker, but it's certainly quite a practical TV for a camper van, and that's what it's designed for. The next video on the Cache Converters Nintendo Switch will hopefully be out very shortly.